I just had a heart attack. Can you believe it? I'm fit, don't smoke, go to my physical exams, exercise, hike. I do everything right. I do eat chips and snacks and sugar and stuff. But all my tests are always fine. I'm doing just fine. The rest of the story. I went to the gym Tuesday. Today is Sunday. So Tuesday, I went to the gym, did my usual routine. Hour and a half, upper body is like 40 minutes, and then stationary bicycle for 45 minutes. And then Wednesday, I went to the gym. I was doing my usual routines. And then I'm doing the butterfly exercise. I felt tightness, just tightness. I just kept exercising. And, I just shortness of breath, the usual heart attack signs. I cut my routine down a little bit. I went to the stationary bike. I can only do like a minute. It's like, something's not right. I'm going home. So I drove myself home, past the hospital. Not smart. Because all I had was tightness right here in the center. So I went home, and you know what I did? I'm going to, I'm thinking, is this a heart attack? Because I do my research. I know what's going on. I put on meditation music in the bedroom. I lay down in the bed, with the waterfall music, and I just lay down. And then I get up, because I'm just not one to lay down. Let's see if I watch a little bit of TV. I'm going, maybe I strained something. That's what I was hoping for. Maybe it's indigestion. And then I called my doctor. And of course, you talk to anyone and tell them you have tightness in chest, go to the emergency room. Go to the emergency room. I'm going to tell you, you ever have tightness in your chest, go to the emergency room. But it's not pain. I expected a heart attack to be like a muscle cramp in your thigh or your calf, which I get all the time. And it was just tightness. It was just discomfort. Nothing outrageously insane. So I told her I really didn't want to go to the emergency room. So I spent the night. I watched the Jesus movie. I watched the Jesus movie on TV, and I went to sleep. I woke up the next day. Everything seemed fine. And of course, my family driving me nuts. Go to the emergency room, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'll schedule a stress test. So I call the hospital, trying to schedule a test. Let me do a stress test. Next thing I know, my doctor's calling me saying, we want to schedule you for an EKG. I said, all right. So I go to the doctor's office for an EKG. Everything's fine. No problems. I just had my physical exam about 3 weeks ago. Blood work, everything's normal. And they're telling me, well, something's not right, because I've got a blood pressure machine here. Or I check my blood pressure. Smartwatch is a beautiful thing. Beats per minute. I think I got low down to a 34, which wasn't good. Lowest I've ever been. And you can do an EKG with your smartwatch. Just holding this, it does it for like 30 seconds. The first 3 or 4 was inconclusive. And then the rest was fine. So, at the doctor's office, they say, just go to the emergency room. And the nurse saying, I don't know how to code this, because you're really not in pain right now. I said, no, not really. And she said, when you go to the emergency room, this is a secret, code word, say you have chest pain. And they'll take you right back. So I go in there to the emergency room. I say, I've got chest pain. And they take me right back. Beautiful hospital. I thought it was going to be, I don't go to the hospital. I don't take meds. I never had a problem. They take me in the back. And they, and I'm lying saying I got chest pain, because I really didn't. And I'm not a good liar. So, they're checking this and they're checking that, and they take blood. And, and about 10, 15 minutes later, now there's all sorts of urgency. I'm still feeling fine, because one of the blood tests comes back and the reading was 19.9, and the reading should be 0. Doctor comes in and says, you've had a heart attack, or you're having a heart attack. and I'm really feeling fine. Because the problem was the day before. That was Wednesday. So from Wednesday, like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., I had discomfort in the chest. And it went away. And then from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., it came back. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, I saw my doctor. Then I eventually went to the emergency room, and they diagnosed me with I had a heart attack. And I exercise, I don't smoke. Talking to the nurses, they're looking at me, and one quote was, "You're boring." No, I don't take drugs. I exercise, I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do any of that nonsense. And then when the pharmacist came in, "You take any drugs?" No, she says, "You're too easy." And it was just unbelievable. That's what I felt fine all the way through. But I don't want to make this video too long, but if you ever feel chest pain, go to the emergency room. I had a stent put in, painless. And it took 15 minutes. But that was Thursday. They diagnosed me because of that one blood test they had to take that shows 19.9 when it should say 0. They said there's heart damage. It's the enzymes in your body, in your blood. And then they kept me overnight with drugs going through my body, nitro and heparin. And the doctor said, if it was real bad, they would have taken you right back immediately. So overnight, the next morning, they did an echocardio where they do the exam, or they ultrasound your heart, and took me to cardiac, where they put in a stent. It was the Widowmaker. So I was saying 99% blockage, but a lot of guys have 100% blockage. But that left vein in the back of your heart puts 50% of the blood through your heart. And a lot of guys, if you have 100% blockage, you still got 50%. But sometimes most people just drop. And I really didn't want to go to the emergency room. And I asked the doctor, what would happen if I didn't come? He says, maybe nothing. But maybe the second heart attack probably would have killed you. Or one doctor said, it's about a piece of plaque just broke loose in an artery next to the heart and clogged it. I said, shouldn't the pain have continued? He said, it probably cleared up. And then locked up again. I said, okay. And right now, they knew everything. Doctors are good. Nurses were excellent. Everything was fine. Now I've got 4 pills I got to take every day. Cardiac rehab coming up. And, life has changed. Watch your diet. And what they said, it was probably hereditary with me. I'm age 63. And life has changed drastically. No more going to the gym for 2 hours every day. And, with the stint, it's going to be fine. Probably 10 days to make sure everything's fine. I think I'm going to go for a walk, 2-mile walk right now after this video. And you just got to live, because I just can't sit still and do nothing. So what happened to me was, went to the gym Tuesday, no problem. Went to the gym Wednesday. That's probably when the heart attack happened, at the gym. But I just went home. And I did call the doctor, and he set up an EKG for the next day, next afternoon. So then I went to sleep. I woke up the next day, patiently waited for my 1:45 appointment for an EKG. Had the EKG on Thursday. Everything was fine. And they said, just go to the emergency room and say you have chest pain. So I went to the emergency room on Thursday. They did this magic blood test with 19.9% enzymes, or intrepids. I'll have to look it up. And that's when everything started getting serious. So that was Thursday. Friday, the stint went in. Home Saturday. Back to normal. I just have to slow down. The wife came and threw out all my chips, took my M&Ms, took all the soup. Everything's gone. Now I've got to eat fruits and vegetables and chicken. Lucky me. Stay healthy, folks. Retire as soon as you can. Take Social Security at age 62. enjoy life. Subscribe for continuing story.